Okay, Psalms number 12, verse 1 through verse 8. Read for me, children.
Help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart they do speak. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things. Who have said, with our tongue will we prevail? Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy. Now will I arise, said the Lord. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him. The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side when the violent men are exalted. Amen.
Thank you, Sister P3, for the reading of the word. Help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth. The faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. Help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. Our subject for today, help, Lord, don't let the world change my speech. Help, Lord, don't let the world change my speech. Don't let the world convert me. Don't let the world stop me from being who you made me. Stop me from talking like who you made me to talk like. I think that was on Wednesday night when I said that that we are in constant attack. The enemy is out to try to get all of the folk that are living for God to compromise, to accept the world's way of doing things. We don't want to exercise patience because we're in that right now generation where we don't want to wait. And then the world will teach us that you don't have to wait. And then the message of today is you can have it now. Right now, you can have it now. You don't have to wait. God is a right now God. He's just waiting for you to say it.
Yeah.
And he'll do it.
Thank you, Lord.
But listen, if you hadn't found out already, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Now, God hadn't made not one promise that he won't keep. But there are very, very few of them that he put a time limit on. Most of them, you gotta wait. You know, but he'll do it if you're willing to just take him at his word. And no matter how long it takes, I'm waiting on God to fulfill what he said he would do. David here is having a problem because, you know, he's witnessing what we are going through and is witnessing now is the great falling away. He's watching and seeing dedicated men that used to stand for God and used to live for God and wasn't afraid to speak up for God, you know, and wasn't afraid to be ostracized and cast aside, you know, for the sake of living for God. He's watching men like that compromise. He's watching men like that either afraid to speak up or changing what they say. So it just didn't happen with us, but it's always been happening. When you search this scripture, you find out that there were always people that started out, you know, really dedicated and really meaning to live for God, but circumstances and time and surroundings caused them to relinquish their stand. You know, Scripture teaches us about be not carried about with every wind of doctrine. See, but we're in a world where if it sounds good, then it must be good. See? And I was talking to somebody the other day, I don't remember who it was, and I was saying how, you know, and I'm not a denominational fighter, so I won't get into that. But how certain people have learned how to include certain parts of the Bible in that discourse, you know, to make it sound acceptable. And some people, because of their willingness to accept, so they say, well, they quote scriptures, you know, well, they use the Bible, you know. Well, just because a fella quote the Bible don't mean that they believe what they quote. And just because they quote it and say they believe it don't mean that they're gonna live it. See, so you have to be careful. The devil doesn't care about you condemning something he's doing as long as it works in his favor. Well, they speak against the devil. Well, the devil don't mind that as long as he knows it's coming just from here. It's the people that speak against him from the heart that he's really concerned about. Come on, see. So David said, Lord, help, Lord, for godly men cease it. They cease it. See? the ones that used to stand up for you, they're not standing no more. See, they steady falling off. You know, they're not as firm now as they used to be in what they believe and what they taught. You know, Paul told Timothy, he said, and this know that peerless times will come, and men will become lovers of their own selves. You know, and he went on to talk about all the things that they would be given them. But he told Timothy what? Preach the word. See, in other words, you preach it in season, preach it when they want to hear it, preach it when they don't. Because the time will come when they won't endure sound doctrine. That's the word. Yeah. But they'll hit together and sit with itching ears to hear something that's convenient. You know, something that's ear tickling. See, but don't you get carried away with that. You do what? Preach the word. All right. See, so David said, even though those things are happening, don't let it cause you to cease. Yeah. All right. You know, I look at now, you know, the church now compared to what it was, you know, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, when I first got saved. They had bold saints then. Saints didn't mind telling you what thus said the Lord. You know, and I mean, and listen, it helped all of us that received it. And to those that didn't receive it, listen, it didn't pan out right then, but later on it manifested itself. See? But I told y'all about this lady, you know, that told me, you know, I went to usher meeting, I was president of usher board, and had these little slacks that I really lacked, and the man didn't have. He had the size I had before I got saved, but he didn't have the size that, you know, I put them on. I got to turn myself around in the mirror, and I told myself, they don't look that bad, you know, because that's what you wear, 29 in the waist, even if they had to kind of, you know, suck it in, you know, and find me a little shirt, you know, that really made me look muscular, you know, and I was ready. And went on the usher meeting, and no sooner than I stepped out of the car, one of the usher members, they looked at me and said, "Say it on the Lord rebuke." Now, Brother Peter, you can't tell me the Lord didn't speak to you about the past.
He'll do it. He will do it. Yes, he will.
I said, yes, he did. But I just didn't believe. I just didn't obey. See, so I went on in usher meeting because it was too late for me to go back and change. But I went on there, and so I told him, I said, listen, before we go into usher meeting, I need to apologize for my appearance. You know what I mean? And they didn't have me looking like I was ruptured in front or nothing like that. Y'all get the picture. But I mean, they was hugging this little slim body, you know. And I said, if y'all will allow me to conduct usher meeting today, I promise you won't see me looking like this no more. So I came home that day and pulled them pants off. I called Brother Sloan the next day, and I told him, I said, man, I got some slacks here. You know, I said, if you can wear them, if you want them, you can. He said, well, bring them over. Let me look at them. Now, when Brother Sloan put them on, they looked like they should have looked it on me. So that was the time when me and him were the same size. But my point is this, is that just because it's acceptable to the world don't mean that it ought to be acceptable to the church. Right? See, just because the world says it's all right, that ought not be the sentiment of the church. See, because very seldom the world and the church is going to agree on the same thing. See, now, you say, well, Pastor, you know what it's easy to get attached to the things of the world. See, and we feel like long because we're not nightclubbing and, you know, and all of that. We feel like, you know, that's our extent of worldliness. But listen, you can't afford to not only not dress like the world, but you can't afford to talk like the world. You know, see, the Bible said in Hebrews chapter 12, he said, wherefore seeing that we also all compassed about by so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every sin, every weight, and the sin which doeth so what? Easily beset us. It's easy for things to attach themselves to us, and we're not even aware of it. And so since we hear it all around us, it doesn't dawn on us that saints ain't supposed to be talking like that. Like you say, that's been like that a minute. Now, what's a minute?
60 seconds.
I don't expect everybody to say it, but some of y'all that's bold enough. What's a minute?
60 seconds.
But see, when the world talks about a minute, it can mean anything from 60 seconds to a month, 6 months, a year, you know, 2 years, 5 years. Oh, it's been like that a minute. See? But listen, when a child of God says something, then it ought to be what it is. You know, see? And, but you hear it all the time in the church. Oh yeah, it's been like that a minute. You know, somebody the other day said, "Oh, that's been like that a minute, Pastor." I just went on. I didn't say nothing because But now, let me ask you this: if you were working on a job and you asked your boss, you applied for a raise, and he said, "Well, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna give it to you in a minute." And then when you pick up your paycheck on Friday, it hadn't increased none. See? Now what you gonna do? Just answer me truthfully. What you gonna do? If he promised you he's gonna do it in a minute, and then your paycheck, you gonna go back to him and what you wanna know? Did you forget about my raise? Well, no, I didn't forget. But you said you're gonna do it in a minute. See? Now, if a minute is so acceptable in that respect, then you ought not have no problem waiting. All right? Well, he said he's going to do it in a minute. Well, did you get your raise this week? No, but he said he's going to do it in a minute. Did you get your raise this week? No, and yet a month and went by and your paycheck hadn't increased, but still the boss said he's going to do it. Well, amen, Pastor. See, I'm trying to show you where. Listen, now, if we are children of God, then what we say ought to sound like we belong to God. Right? See, and folk ought to be able to trust what we say and confide in what we say. Right. Jesus said what? Listen, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. See? Come on. See, if anybody ought to be able to trust what somebody say, we ought to be able to trust what God's people say. Come on. So David said here, he said, "Help, Lord,
for the godly man ceaseth."
The godly man ceaseth.
For the faithful fails from among the children of men.
All right.
They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak.
You can't trust what they say. The same fellow that used to speak the truth, and you could take what they say, and confide in it, now you can't do that. And you might well admit it. You might well admit it. That listen, in the church now, that's why people don't confide in folks. And listen, they'll tell me when it comes to talk to me, say, now Pastor, I'd like this to remain between us. See? You know why? Because so many things have been said in private and in confidence, and then the next thing you know, it's been you know, everybody, all y'all won't talk to me. And then there's some people that won't talk to the pastor and nobody else because they've had things to get out, or know somebody that said something in confidence and then got out. Listen, well now, we ought to be as trustworthy as your doctor and your lawyer. Come on. See, and they ain't testifying to being saved. But listen, even the court can't make them divulge stuff that's between patient and doctor, or between lawyer and client. Come on. See? Now listen, if they can do it, we ought to be able to do it. But Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, I dare any of you having a matter among yourselves to take it to the court of law. See, don't you know that the saints are going to judge the world? So if you got a matter among you, ought to be able to handle it among yourselves. See?
Go ahead now.
But you can file any kind of petition you want. But listen, if that's client and lawyer, what you call them? Listen, they're not gonna divulge that. See, patient and doctor, they're not gonna divulge that. So speaker, I had to call my insurance company about a policy I've had for I don't know how long now, you know. And listen, they told us that well, we're not at liberty to discuss that with you, even though you are his wife. But we'd have to have express permission from him to discuss that with you. See? You see what I'm saying? Now, we can't afford to let society be more credible than we are. Ooh, it's quiet. See? Godly men, you ought to be able to trust what they say. Come on, see? But David said they're ceasing. See, it looked like I'm the only one that's holding it. I'm kind of like Elijah. It looked like I'm the only one that's holding up this blood-stained banner. See, because listen, those that's still holding on, they done got quiet. They don't want to talk up now. They don't want to get with me. So, Lord, I need what? Your help. See, because godly men ceases. And then verse 2 says, he said what?
They speak vanity.
They speak vanity.
Everyone with his neighbor with flattering lips.
With flattering lips.
And with a double heart do they speak.
See, you can tell when a person's not on the up and up, when they always got to compliment you. You know, see, say one thing with this, but in their heart they mean something else. You know, ooh, I tell you, that's a sharp suit you got on there. Man, you sharp. I remember I was at this meeting, and this well-known preacher, I won't call his name, but listen, and everybody was in there with their clergy collars on and all of that, you know, and here this preacher came, looked like Cal Calloway. And it, now just look at that. I tell you, he gonna show up here today and dressed like that. You know, they had on a burgundy suit, you know, white shoes, and a white shirt and a bright striped burgundy tie, and he was clean. See? And I tell you, and you show up like, oh, that's a shame. And when he got back closer from here to my son back there on the camera, say, man, look at you. Boy, you sharp. Oh, preacher, you got it together. Now, I'm sitting over there, a young saint, ain't been saved for about 5 or 6 months. And here's some of these folk, you know, they my age and lost all their hair, and that was up there is great, you know, and all that. And they got their clergy collars on and all that. And then go, man, yeah, I tell you don't let nobody tell you ain't clean. You looking good. You know, and God just told me, so thank you. You know, that done something to me. You know, I said, now, these people here that's supposed to be, you know, they had titles and all of that, you know, and they they didn't have to say nothing. You know, he wasn't asking them for no compliment. But if you're gonna say something, you ought to speak the truth. But they gonna say that. Now, talked about it until he got in earshot, and then they go, you know. But one thing they didn't lie about, he was clean. And I thought myself, one day I'm gonna be able to dress like that, you know. I just got in here then, so come on. But my point is this: if you're gonna tell a person something, be truthful about what you tell them. See? And listen, if you can't be truthful, just don't say nothing. See? Now you say, well, how you come up with that? When Pilate asked Jesus, he said, don't you know that I got the power to kill you or the power to let you go? But I need to know, are you the Son of God or not? I need to hear you say it. See? The Bible said Jesus held his peace. So much that Pilate marveled. See, listen, if you can't tell the truth, if you know the truth and then you can't tell it or don't want to tell it, hold your peace. But don't. Flattery is a sin. Turn over, what was that? Proverbs 20, 12, 20 through 22. I ain't gonna be able to finish this, so we're gonna get as far as we can.
Do what you can, Pastor. Deceit is in the heart of them.
Deceit is in the heart of what?
Of them that imagine evil.
All right.
But to the counselors of peace is joy.
All right.
There shall no evil happen to the just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief.
All right.
Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord.
Lying lips are abomination. That's all flattery.
To the Lord. But they that deal truly are his delight.
See? Ooh, you look so nice. That really becomes you. And it brings out your skin tics. It makes you look, are you losing weight? No, but that makes you look slim. And no good well in your mind you're saying they ought to pull that off. They ain't got no business with that on. See? And I mean, and it's just the right length and everything. Oh, girl, you wearing that dress. Come on. See? Just don't say nothing. Cause listen. And usually when people flatter you, they got a motive in mind. They're trying to get something out of it. Come on. See, they ain't just telling you that just for the sake of telling you. They got something in mind when they tell you that. See, come on. See, and see, you so naive. You just thank you. Oh, this is just come on. See? I don't pay no attention to people, man, you sharp. I got a mirror at home. Amen. See? And it don't say nothing. Yeah, man. See? And listen, now I might not be the best dresser in the world, but I know when I got my stuff together.
All right now.
Come on here. See? So when you've been around a while, you can hear the deceit in a person's conversation. You know good and well they don't mean what's coming out of their mouth. See, it's something about when a person means something, it's got a different ring to it. It appeals to you different. Come on, talk to me here. See, and you know they're trying to run a game on you. See, come on, see, but listen, but that's the way the world do things. See, what was that song? I hadn't heard it, but I've heard them quoted and said so many times. The smile in your face, all the time they want to take your place, backstab. I don't ever remember hearing it, but I heard it around enough to know it was around. See, come on, see. But my pastor used to say this: everybody that's looking at you, everybody that's looking at you grinning ain't tickled. Come on. So. You got, and I'm not saying this to make you skeptical of people, but I am saying you ought to be watchful. See? Because everybody that's patting you on the back, make sure they ain't got. Oh, come on here, see, come on, see, and then listen. You know when you've been around long enough to know when folk are real in what they're telling you. Woo! Whoa. So
they speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh pride.
God gonna get them, but make sure they don't get you before God get them.
That's good right there.
Come on, see? God gonna get them. But you be wise enough to not let them get you before God get them. Because then you wind up, God has to get both of y'all. Come on. See? Don't everybody tell you how great and grand you are. If you've been had you for any time, you ought to know who you are. You ought to know whether you are that great and grand or not. Let me. Be wise enough to know when people are not with you. Now, just because you know people are not with you, that don't mean that you ought to push them aside. Well, how you come to that conclusion? Jesus knew Judas wasn't with him. But he didn't push him aside. He treated him just like he did the rest of them. But he knew Judas was going to turn on him. See? Come on, see? And see, what you do is, I think I touched on that during the message Wednesday night, how God didn't cut them off because he was giving them a chance. See? Never let it say that God didn't give everybody a chance to get right, even if they didn't get right. See? So that's because you know a person is not in your corner, ain't on me, and you got to act like God. You got to love them anyhow. You got to treat them nice anyhow. But just know who you treating nice. Oh, glory to God, see. And I absolutely refuse, just because I know you're not in my corner, I ain't finna grin at you. If I can't smile at you, I'll keep my lips closed.
Yes, sir. That's good.
Come on, see? But such people, God will get them. Yes, but God gonna do it in his own time. But you have to leave that up to God. But now look what David done. David asked God for help. Help, Lord. See? He didn't try to straighten the problem out himself. He asked help of God. In other words, Lord, they belong to you. You notice up above they call them what? Godly men. Now, if godly men, who godly men belong to? God. See? But they ceased it. So I'm asking for help, not only for them, but for me. Don't let me get caught up in that. Just because they cease it, don't let me cease. Just because they don't quit talking holy, don't let me stop talking holy. Just because they're not faithful like they ought to be, don't let me stop being faithful. And you notice how he put both of those in the same category. See? He said what?
The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips.
No. Let's go back up to verse 1.
Help, Lord. For the godly man ceased.
All right.
For the faithful fell from among the children of men.
The godly men and the faithful, he put them both in it. You can't be one without the other. Now, you say, well, Pastor, where you at now? Let me show you the difference. Godly and faithful men is always promoting the program of the kingdom of God. Now, we usually call a person faithful because they might be there all the time. Just because a person is there all the time don't mean that they're faithful. You say, oh, come on now, Pastor.
That's right. Teach.
How many services you think the devil missed?
No.
And he's not here to promote the kingdom of God. See? So just because you're faithful don't mean that you're in accord with what's going on. But now, if you're not faithful, then you can't be around the flatter the folk. You can't be around the compliment folk, you know, when they don't deserve compliment. You know, you can't be around and tell folk how nice they look in something that they ought not have on. If you're not there. See? So just because you put now, here's what connects the two. To be godly and to be faithful. That's the winning combination then. See? So David said, you know, God is going to do what to the lying lips? The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips.
And the tongue that speaketh proud things.
And the tongue that speaketh
proud things.
Proud things.
Who have said, with our tongue will we prevail, or our lips, or our own.
Now listen. I live in America. See, where I have free speech. You know, and this is my mouth. Can't nobody tell me what to say with my own mouth. See, now, you can't tell me how to talk. Can't tell me you sweep around your door and leave mine. Come on. Oh, come on, help me here. See, listen. You done messed around there and put God in second place. See, this is my mouth. Well, where did you get it from? And where did you get the strength to open it? Where did you get the voice that comes out of it? Where did you get the air to breathe to be able to speak? So if it belongs to God, and everything it takes to operate it belongs to God, then I owe it to myself and God to say the thing that God would what? Have me to say. But the Bible said because they were proud, they said,
with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own.
See, I know how to talk. I know what to say. Can't tell me what to say. I know what to say. See. And listen, And them silver tongued devils, they pretty persuasive. Come on. How you know? Because I've been one. Come on. See? Yeah. See, and this, that's another thing. You don't lose that when you come out of the world. If you was a game player in the world, see, when you come into the church, you don't lose that mentality. You lose the desire for it, but the mentality stays there. So you can always tell when somebody else ain't what they ought to be. Come on, see. And then you know, like I say, we pick up all these words, you know, and I'm like, and they were so, and I'm like, you like what? You ain't gonna get away with that in a classroom, in an English class. See, I don't know the exact term for it, but if you start something like that in an English class, listen, you're gonna get a big F if you don't finish what you know. What is it? All right then. Y'all help me out here, see. Come on, see. But still, we godly folk. But we can, and I'm like, I'm telling you, I say they must be tripping. Why are they tripping? Come on. Now, Lord help us here. See? Well, tell me what part of the Bible did you find that in? Show me that part about where I can, so, because I get on some of y'all nerves with that tripping, you know. And I'm telling you, I said, why? I don't know why they're tripping. Now, my definition of tripping was when you done got high off something. And when you out of, see, come on, that's what they used to mean by tripping when come on, see. But now, you know, when we pick that up stuff up, where'd you get it from?
The world.
Now, if you gonna use those kind of words, then think of the damage you do to people that you're supposed to be persuading or impressing. You know, y'all wouldn't think of much of me as a pastor if I got up here and you know. And I'm tired of y'all tripping. You know, come on. See, and y'all need to come. I ain't down with that. First thing y'all gonna say, well, I'm pastor. Don't set up that. Y'all know you feel me. Saints. Titus chapter 1 first. And I'm almost through. Well, not through, but I'm Titus. Yeah, the first chapter, verse 7 through verse 11.
For a bishop must be blameless as the steward of God.
All right.
Not self-willed. Not soon angry.
All right.
Not given to wine. No striker.
All right.
Not given to filthy lucre, but a lover of hospitality. A lover of good men.
Now, in case you wondered how I got off on that, Remember what David said up there in verse 1. See? And this is where unsound speech is most effective. Is when it's coming from somebody that's in leadership or somebody that's been a spokesman for God. Come on. See? Read.
But a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men,
All right.
sober, just, holy, temperate, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers.
See, what you say ought to be able to convert somebody. The Bible says that the words of a saint ought to do what? Minister grace unto the hearer. Come on. But now, if I'm gonna be talking to you and using the same language you use, and then I'm supposed to be saved and you not, then who converted? It sounds more like I've been converted than you.
Amen.
Now look what Titus 2, verse 6 through 8 says.
Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded.
All right.
In all things showing
now you can't teach them to be sober-minded except you are. Like when I was on the streets, they had these old guys, they done passed they what's called days, but they was trying to get it together. I could mention there's a couple of them that used to come here. You could tell they were still, and then come on. See? And now, it was bad to see a young man walking like that. But when you see an old person that ought to be thankful to be able to walk at all, and here they drop it. Come on. See? Man, listen, that's hard work to try to do all of that. Yeah, and then walking. And back then, you didn't have a car. You walked everywhere you went. You be sweating and going on. Look, I ain't got out telling Brother Dave in the office, how they used to wear those processes. I ain't had that time to be tying up my head and all that kind of stuff, and then wait till I get right to the club, then pull my rag off, and all that, make sure everything it'll look pretty when I get in there, or look handsome when I get. See, get them buck shots and get me some tuxedo or something other and do them up good and get on in there, and those that want the curly hair, let them go on with them. See, but see, I had to know who I am. Come on, see. I told them back when I was a youngster, coating and all that, girls like the boys with curly hair, bright with curly hair in a car. I wasn't bright, I was lighter than I am now. Didn't have curly hair and didn't have no car. But once I found out who I am, see, and what I had going for me, I sent a lot of curly hair boys home early. So I'm saying that you don't have to, if God has saved you and made you who you are, you don't have to pretend to be nobody else. And why let the devil to take you from real to fake when God brought you from fake to real? Go back to what I've been delivered from. Been delivered from lying and being deceitful, and then let the devil take me back to that. No, that just don't make no sense. See, come on, Sir Peter.
Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded.
All right.
In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works.
All right.
In doctrine showing
how many things? In all things. And who do that?
Showing thyself a pattern.
And who do that?
Young men.
Young men. Because they done learned from the older men. See? So they imitate what they've been taught. Come on. See?
In all things showing thyself
Show
a pattern
yourself
of
a pattern of
good works.
what?
Good works.
A good work.
In doctrine showing uncorruptness.
All right.
Gravity. Sincerity.
All right.
Sound speech.
Sound speech.
That cannot
be condemned. Sound speech. You might not like it, but you can't condemn it. Come on, see. You might not accept it, but you can't condemn it. See? Because what? It's sound speech. Now up above that, he talks about how, the young women ought to conduct themselves and all of that stuff. I was telling the individual the other day, about that. Ain't no mother got no business stepping on you got children that you ought to be an example to, and here she got a ring in her nose. And got so many ear piercings, got to do it. How you gonna be an example to somebody else when here you sit up there, acting like a teenager when you way past your teenage years. Here you got a tattoo when you ought to be telling your child don't do it. If you can't say amen, just say ouch. Come on. See? We are listen. That's why I with my children, I've always, y'all heard my daughter Lorna say that to what's called the other night. If they ask me for something, I don't just up and say yes. I say, well, look, let me think about it. And I didn't know she paid that attention close attention. She said, when you see Daddy twiddling his thumb like that, he's thinking about it then. So you just have to wait and see what the answer's going to be. See? And now listen. Now, and then I didn't just up and tell them no, but I told them why I was saying it. Like one time they had the gaucho pants. Y'all, yeah. And my daughter Lorna, she wanted some of them gaucho pants. I said, no, I don't think that's coming to somebody that, girl, you saved filled with the Holy Ghost. But Daddy, that's what they went in. And they got them at Casual Corner. That's what she used to shop at. Well, it might be that, but no, we're not going to get none of them. So get you something that's going to fit, I said, because they ain't nothing but a fad. And in 6 months, they be, So about 6 months later, 6 to 8 months later, she come back to him and say, Daddy, you remember what you said about they ain't wearing nothing like that no more. A girl came to school with someone on the other day and they laughed at her, so she had to go home and change clothes. See? Because you can't get caught up in everything, And I'm heading home now. Look how many times we've changed our worldly language. See? Words we used to use, we don't even use that no more. See? And watch. Yes, you don't hardly hear about tripping no more. It's on its way out. See? But they're gonna come up with something else. See? Come on. See? A minute, it's gonna ease on out, and something else gonna come up. See? So why you wanna get caught up in something that's not gonna last anyway? See? And now listen, how convincing you think you gonna be to worldly people when you talking just like they talk? And see, it's more to being worldly than profanity. See, come on. People want to hear something. Want to hear something different. Some of the most memorable things that I remember back when folk were witnessing to me was that they were unshakable in what they believed. I told you about this old man that used to used to witness to me, you know. And he'd always, you know, and I credit him for me studying the Bible. My mama didn't understand. She thought I was trying to get over a hangover, which it probably helped. I don't know. But I'd be getting ready for him because I had promised him I was coming to church that Sunday. And I wasn't going, so I had to get ready for him that Monday, get me some scripture. See, and he wasn't well read. He couldn't read real good. See. And you know, I was always a good talker. So I'd have him tied up, but he'd stand up there and he'd look short, man. He said, son, you might can read better than me, and you might can talk better than me, and you might have a better understanding than me. But one thing you might as well understand. I know what's right, and I'm going to stand on that. And you couldn't shake it. You couldn't shake it. I needle him, you know, and all that, but you couldn't shake it, and you couldn't make it mad. You know? See, I feel like I'd get him off my back, you know, by tying him up, you know, like he told me about, you know, getting I talk all kinds of guys. I said, what you want me to come get to church so I can get a preacher my money like you giving it to him, man? And boy, you get off. I said, now show me that in the Bible. He couldn't show it to me, but he knew. He knew tithing was right. He knew giving was right. And he told me, he said, I don't care what you say. I know it's right. See? And I'm going to stand on that. So it don't make no difference how much I kneel him. See, and that's the way it got to be. Listen, it don't make no difference how much pressure you get from on the outside. You got to be what? Steadfast. Unmovable. Always, not sometimes, but always abounding in the work of the Lord. People got to know, and see, once folks find out you're not shakable, listen, they'll either get with you or leave you alone. Sometimes my conscience would bother me after I did and he always take these little odd jobs so to ease my conscience, I'd help him to do them. You know. After I get off work, then I said, no, you don't understand. Yeah, I want to stay in here. That's my way of, see, I was too proud to say I'm sorry for acting like that, you know, so I'd stay in, you know. And then one time, it used to be Hook Supermarket, it used to be up there on the corner of Law College where that store is now. And sometimes he had no food in the house, and I'd help him, you know, put those shingles on top of the house, he's contracted, and he'd stop there and buy groceries, and he'd get home and tell his wife, said, baby, just look how the Lord done bless. And we got this young man here to help thankful. He stayed to help me, and he wouldn't take nothing, see. And then she would say, now he would tell me, you need to give your life to the Lord. You got a good heart. And I'd talk crazy to him, but when she said, son, the Lord gonna bless you. Are you saved, son? No, ma'am. You need to give your life to the Lord. Yes, ma'am. You know. And if you look at me now, you talk crazy to me, but now you... But that's the one thing that I always admired about him was he was unshakable in what he believed. See? And he stood on that. I never forget when I got saved. Oh, he was so happy because, you know, I had done what he'd been trying to get me to do for Lord knows how long. You know, and that night when I fell out under the power of God, was there for the Holy Ghost, they looked at and said, well, if God don't give you, we're going to give you ours, because we ain't letting you up out of this sawdust till you get it. See, what I'm saying in my closing is this. Don't let your surroundings cause you to cease being who you are. See? There's always lures from the world. But listen, we've got to be more persuasive than the world is. See? We've got to not cease being who we are. And if we stand for who we are, listen, God will use us to draw folks. Those of us that sat the other night, today, You didn't get saved because you found somebody else was talking like you. They were talking different.
Yes, sir.
They were saying something that listen, even after the conversation was over, you couldn't shake it. Come on. See? So we'll probably take this up again. You know, but because there's a lot more to be said here. But we gonna have to be more aware, saints. Now over in Psalms 11, and I'm trying to see what verse it is. Psalms 11 and verse 3.
If the foundation be destroyed, who can the righteous?
I'll tell you what, at verse 2.
For lo, the wicked bend their bow. They make ready their arrow upon the string.
All right.
That they may privately shoot at the upright in heart.
All right.
If the foundation
be destroyed,
what can the righteous do?
If we allow them to destroy the foundation?
Yeah.
We don't have nothing to stand on. See? And the Bible says that they're already armed and ready. So we got to be what? Armed and ready. Clap your hands and say thank you. Father, thank you today for this word. I pray that you bless these that heard this word today. God, help us to see the seriousness of this thing. We might not bear witness to what we've heard today, but in our hearts we know that it's got a bigger hold on us than what we're willing to admit. But God says, you know our hearts anyway. And you're the one that's going to have to give us the strength and the courage to do better. Go back to what we know is right. Help us to do like David said. Help, Lord. Help me to talk like I need to talk, like I should talk. Help me to do what I should do. Help me to say what I should say. Bind the spirit of deceitfulness and cast it out today in the name of Jesus. Help me to be more fervent in my walk, in my talk, and my way of doing things. And God, help me to lay aside every weight. Glory to God, to not be deceived by these little things that seem so harmless. And as this word go out over the airways, there are those, God, that would listen, that has been snared by the enemy into talking like the world and acting like the world. But deliver us, God, again. Set us free again. We know, God, it's your will that we live holy. You said, be holy in all manner of conversation. Help us today, God. In Jesus' name. Thank you for it. Amen. God bless you.